everyone. I hope you guys had a good Christmas and holiday season. I'm Chris T, and S Horse at SD70. We're starting 2020 off with another review. We're going to look at what's inside Run 8's Mixed Freight Pack 1. Two new car types appear with the Thrall Bulkhead flats and the Greenville 86-foot auto parts boxcar. We've also got a new Reefer and a shoving platform as well. We'll take an in-depth look at these, so let's go ahead and get started. First up, we'll look at the Thrall Bulkhead flat cars. These particular cars were built in the late 70s into the early 80s by the Thrall Car Manufacturing Company. They were designed to haul large bulk loads, especially shiftable loads, hence the bulkheads at the end of the car. This pack contains 4 versions if you count the empty ones. Let's get a look at these in greater detail. This is one of the empty versions of the bulkhead. As you can see, these cars are heavily weathered with rust and scuff marks on the ends, simulating loads scraping against them over the years. This model of the cars is also used for the steel and pipe loads we'll look at shortly. The next bulkhead is the one hauling untreated telephone poles. But first I want to take a look at this car when it's empty. You notice the upright slats and the extra wood on the floor to help hold the load. This car isn't as beat up as the others and features light weathering and some nice stenciling. Also notice this car carries TTJX reporting marks while the other ones have TTPX marks. And here we have the loaded version with the phone poles. 2 separate lengths of phone poles fit in this car. Also, note the banding that's been modeled holding the load in place. This car will be great for a lot of lumber industries found around Run 8. Up next is the loaded bulkhead with the structural steel load. These I-beams are well modeled with the banding and wood supports on the side of the car. Note too the TT and trailer train marks that differ from the ones on the other bulkhead flat with the telephone poles. And lastly, we have the pipe loads. A nice stack of pipes with more of that banding and wood slats to help the load sit neatly on the car. I know there are several pipe industries modeled in the different regions of Run 8, and this car will fit in very nicely. These bulkheads are a welcome addition to the sim and add an entirely new car to the lineup of rolling stock. Now let's have a look at the Greenville 86-foot auto parts boxcars. These specialty boxcars started appearing in the 1960s, with many roads purchasing them for the rapidly expanding automotive industry, with Thrall, Pullman Standard, and Greenville being the 3 main producers. The 86-foot boxcar is less and less common today, with newer and smaller boxcars doing the work just as easily. Our first car is lettered for NADX. This is a GE Rail Services reporting mark, so it belongs in a large lease fleet. One of the main features of this car are the patched out lettering on the left and the logo on the right. This was formerly an Ann Arbor car. In addition to the patch jobs, we've got some very nice stenciling and weathering with the scrape marks down the side of the car where the door would be opened and closed. Also, check out that outdated ACI tag to the right of the car. ACI stood for Automatic Car Identification. This was the precursor to the ARI tags and was used in the 1970s before ultimately being phased out. And coupled to it is the Southern Pacific 86-footer. I've actually seen a car like this in person, so it's pretty neat to have it in the sim. There's more sharp lettering on the sides, and the ends of the car feature the white stripe denoting an excess height car, and the no running board warning found on cars like this. Of note, too, is that it's lettered for its famous subsidiary, the St. Louis Southwestern, more commonly referred to as the Cotton Belt. And these big cars were not just relegated to automotive service. These cars were great for hauling lighter loads due to their size. You get a lot of product into the car without sacrificing room and weight. Even though both of these new boxcars are red, they add a splash of color and an interesting car type to the sim. While not a new car type, this Fruit Growers Express Reefer is a nice addition to the ones from the first add-on pack. This version is modeled after the rebuilds of the 1980s done by FGE themselves, as many of the older Fruit Growers and Pacific Fruit Express cars were in need of rebuilding. The car is in relatively good shape, not a lot of rust or weathering. The most noticeable weathering is on the door track running along the base of the car body. As with the other cars in this pack, there is crisp lettering all around the car and features the signature FGE logos and the Real Coal slogan. Another cool piece of rolling stock to add to our already decent reefer fleet. And lastly, we come to the most interesting piece of the pack, the BNSF shoving platform. This ex-Burlington Northern cupola caboose has definitely seen better days. It has an entirely rusted roof, steps, and platforms. It's clearly marked as a shoving platform, and the plated over windows are a very nice touch. They're cleaner than the rest of the car, and the off shade of green really stands out as they've been added later in the car's life and don't have the paint fading like the rest of the car. The cab also features working steps and end walkways so you can freely move around the outside of the car. Because it's a closed-off shoving platform, there's no interior, nor can you go inside the car like the other cabooses. This is a great addition to the sim, especially with the release of the Los Angeles area and its many locals and odd switching moves you'll need to do. Alrighty guys, that'll do it for our look at Mixed Freight Pack 1. You can get it for $10 on Run 8's website. Just go to run8studios.com/trainset, scroll down to the bottom of the page. You can find on the left-hand side next to Mixed Freight Pack 2. I'll drop a link in the description. If you guys like what you've seen here today, you can click that. It'll take you right to it. You can pick it up. You get 2 new car types, a new reefer, and a new shoving platform for just $10. It's a pretty good deal. Not sure what my next review will be. I was looking at the website. I saw, they got the cabooses. We got a bunch of locomotive packs, gondolas, all kinds of rolling stock. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but I got plenty to do. I really like doing these reviews. It's a lot of fun looking up the car types and some histories on the cars and things like that. So I've been really enjoying that. I'm going to bring, same live streams and everything. So we're going to just keep doing what we're doing, and I really enjoy it. As I said at the beginning, everybody have a good new year. Happy 2020 to you. Take care. I'll see you out there, guys.